It's time for the Northwoods Cooking Show. Starring Uncle Roy and Miss Callie, the troublemaking dog.
Hello, and welcome to the Northwoods Cooking Show. I'm your host, Uncle Roy, and these are my lovely host and hostess, Miss Callie and Mr. Chance. Yeah, they're helping me out in the gardens today, aren't you guys? Yeah, oh, Callie's new friend. Yeah. We gotta say hello to everybody. Callie, you know how to, positions, sit pretty. Oh, get over here, sit pretty. Oh, yeah. And Mr. Chance, you can sit pretty too, can't you? Oh, you know how to sit up. Oh, trouble. Anyway, we're on location to show you the progress of, this is the second garden, and I'm going to show you some of the flowers, as you can see along here, the containers, and around the yard, how everything is starting to grow. Because we start out the beginning and the end, but I never get to show you the middle. So we're going to go into the middle now and show you how the progress is doing. This is the beginning of July, so everything is starting to get buds and starting to bloom, even though we're in a late season. You just got to be patient this year because everything is late. Strawberry season just started and it's already second week of July. So let me get situated and we'll show you some rough flowers. Okay, these are two of the containers on the side of the house here. And you can tell I got the big Droxinia in the background for height. And then in the middle we have the Coleuses. And in the front we have the gorgeous begonias, the tuberous begonias. And you can see how beautiful orange this is. Oh, it's just so pretty. Look how beautiful that is. Oh, it's a pretty orange. And then with the other one, we got yellow. Ooh. And the colors are just so vibrant. Now I just watered and fertilized, and I use a water-soluble fertilizer, but you don't want to take and fertilize too much, otherwise you're going to get all greens. The leaves will be fine, but you're not going to get any blooms. So you want to be careful not to over-fertilize, once, maybe twice a month at the most. And then in front of the door, we've got the Coleuses, and we got the brighter red one, the deeper red. And these turned out to be really rich colors too. And on the other side, we got New Guinea impatiens in the back there, and they're in a lavender color. And to go around to the other side, we have our two containers over here. Again, starting out with the orange. And we have the Droxinia and Coleus in here. And the other one is the yellow on the ends. We have yellows on both ends and orange towards the columns, and then red at the front door. So it makes a nice warm color entrance. And now in the front of the sidewalk here, I've got the salvia in red, because this side is really shadowy. The sun just doesn't come out until late afternoon. It's now 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and the sun is just coming around the corner. Otherwise, this is all in shade. We got the gorgeous impatiens in front. I just finished watering, so everything's a little on the soggy side. And these taller ones right behind the salvia here are the Lenten rose. Remember, I had those in the containers up by the front door last year, and they didn't produce any flowers last year, but like I said, they were perennials, and you can transplant them out into the garden, which I did, and now I'm looking forward to these blooming this year. They're starting to get really huge, and that red salvia is just beautiful too. And then on the left here we have the Liatris spicata, which is also known as a gay feather, and these are the purple ones. They're kind of like a bottle brush. And then we have some hostas along the edge down here. And one of my favorite colors is darker blue, is the Komodo dragon. And that's going to be just gorgeous and huge when it gets big. And we have the same on the other side here. We have the salvia along with the big blue hostas and impatiens. And these in the back here are called balsam. I got these out at the first house too. And these are really pretty. I love these. When these flowers go to seed, they have a little seed pod that when you touch it, they pop open. And we got some dark fuchsia and some purples. And they come in all different colors, and sometimes it's white and yellows, but these, I got the cool colors to blend in with everything. And you can see that the hostas there in the back are starting to bloom also. That's my sign of what summer's half over with, is when the hostas start to bloom. It's like, oh no. And then we'll go look at some of the other flowers too. And this is the lily bed that I have planted here in the estate. These are all got the buds on, and they're just getting ready to bloom. Now I have the Orientals and the Asiatics mixed in here. So the Asiatics will bloom first, and then the Orientals. And the Orientals have the wider leaf, and they have a scent to the flower, whereas Asiatics don't smell, but are more brighter in color. If you can see on the end here, towards the back, I got some buds that are getting ready to bloom. There are going to be some red ones there, I think. And then above those, I think they look like yellow ones are getting ready to bloom. So these should be opening up here in the next few days. The lilies I just love, because they come back year after year and they multiply quite well. So this small little patch here only had single lilies last year. Now they're all double and triple. And down in front here, I've got a hollyhock down here in the corner, and then along the border I've got cleomes, or spider plants. And these are all the volunteer seeds from last year's plants, and those plants, they just spread seed like crazy. And in the front I have some vincas, the white flower there, and there's some cone flowers just starting off, and a couple of Chinese lanterns just starting off. The Chinese lanterns won't do too well this year, but next year they'll multiply. You should see them out at the first garden. They just really went to town over 1 year. They're looking really bushy, and so I'm expecting a lot of color off of those. And this is the hollyhock bush that I planted last year. Look how huge that is, and look at all the buds on there. There are just tons of them. You can tell they're already starting to open up, and this is just one of those beautiful, beautiful dark maroon hollyhocks. They're almost black. I just think they're so pretty. And this whole bush was just planted last year. I only had like 4 or 5 sprigs of flowers on them, and they were gorgeous. But now it's much thicker, and it's getting bigger and bigger. Oh, it's gonna be just beautiful when it's all in bloom. And down along the front here too, I've got 2 perennial hibiscus. And they're just kind of short right now because of the late season, but once they start blooming, you get those dinner plate size blossoms like tissue paper. They're so fragile. One's cream and one's a dark burgundy also. And then I have the volunteers along the edge of the sidewalk here of hollyhocks, and these will just be starting out this year, so they'll be single and doubles stems compared to the bush that's really big and thick. So it's going to blend in very nicely. And you could always transplant these too. As they come up, you can just dig them up and transplant them into different areas of the garden if you want. I just let the seed go last year just to see how many volunteers I can get. And then along the whole edge here, we have the Stella Dior daylily, and they're all starting to bloom. So the season's late this year, but everything is looking just beautiful in color. Now we can go in the back and look at all the tropicals. And now we're back by the garage, and I got another window box here with the same principle as the bigger one in the front of the house. With the sweet potato vines on the side, and the gazania in the center, New Guinea impatiens in the back, and the trailing vinca in the front. And that's gonna be beautiful colors flowing down. And you can see the Asiatic lilies are starting to bloom. Callie, lay down! She's tied up to the fence. She can't see me, so she's quiet. And we got the orange and yellow ones that are opening up. Oh, these are really pretty. It's vibrant colors. Oh. And I got the orange one in the back there. And the same on this side here too. We got orange in the back and yellow ones in the front. These are turning out really nice. And down front here, I got some hollyhocks in the middle. And on the ends, I got foxglove. And the foxglove is really pretty. I like the foxglove. It's one of my favorite flowers. It's a biannual, comes up every other year. So when it goes to seed, just let it go. And the new shoots will replace the old. So you could have continuous foxglove growing every year, alternating every other year from the previous mother. And these get to be tall, tall spikes like a hollyhock. They're just beautiful. It's a poisonous plant, but it is still gorgeous. Most poisonous plants are. Everything's coming along from the middle of the year. And now remember this container? We had the Figaro mixed dahlias on the bottom. And then we have the trailing vinca coming out here. That's looking so pretty. And then we have our climbing tropicals. Oh, this is we're getting pretty. Nice, beautiful red flower. And we have the same way over in the other container. And that's looking really pretty too. You can zoom in on that one. And that's got a nice large mixture of dahlias. They're looking just beautiful. And the trailing vinca is starting to sprout out. So that's working its way down. That's going to be real pretty when it's trailing down the container. So remember when I told you about planting the containers to have something tall, something bushy in the middle, and then something to hang down over the sides. They call that the thriller tall, the filler that fills in, and the spiller which spills over. Looking very pretty. And then I got one up on the deck there too. That's with dahlias. And I got some fuchsia geraniums and some red geraniums. And the coloring, it's like a cherry red, so it's not red red. So we got more of the pastels in there too. Then we got some warm colors with the dahlias. So there's a lot of mixtures of warms and cools together, but I got mostly cools throughout the yard. It just makes a beautiful color arrangement. And here we got dahlias in the back and the New Guinea impatiens all around the front. You can see how big those blossoms are getting. And the dahlias are growing good. And I got some more over in this container, and it's starting to get little buds on them. And I just watered them now, but the purses should perk up here in a few minutes. These are so cute when they're nice and full in the high heel container. Lovely. Well, now we're out at the first garden. And as a taping of the show, this is July 23rd. And everything is in blooming and the Asiatics are just ending. You can see there's a little lonely orange one here. The other ones have fallen off. But the Asiatics now take over. And you can tell here the Asiatics are all budded. And the difference between the two is the Asiatics have a floral scent to them, almost like licorice. And the leaves are much wider compared to the Asiatic, which have narrower leaves. And they have bright colors, both of them do, but the Orientals have a scent and the Asiatics don't. And these are some pretty red ones here, and I got some salmon ones there, and some light pale salmon ones over there too. These are just gorgeous. And of course the hostas, these are nice big tall ones. I love hostas. And speaking of hostas, these are the hostas, remember we transplanted these last year, I believe it was. And as you can tell, the bed just grew back together, really filled and thick. And along the side here, we have all these New Guinea impatiens. I like these too. These are bright fuchsia colors. I got those all along the border by the garage here. And they're really pretty. And in the containers by the house, we have red and white New Guineas with coleus in the background. And those are really pretty. These are the containers too that I do in the fall and in the winter, and I love decorating them for the seasons. It's just so much fun. And this is the island garden, as you can tell, all the beautiful colors we have in here. Right down in front here now, I have one of those dinner plate dahlias. It's not blooming yet, but there is a bud right there, and I just watered with a phosphate water soluble fertilizer. The phosphate is the high number in the middle, and this is going to make your flowers bloom really big. So hopefully these dinner plate dahlias will get gigantic. Some of them have opened up already, but they're not that big. They're only the size of the zinnias. But my zinnias are really huge. And you can tell we still have some lilies here yet that are still blooming. But it's getting towards the end of the Asiatics, and Orientals are going to be taking over pretty soon. And I got some nice zinnias in the back here. They're already nice and big. And we had a harsh winter this last winter, and we lost a lot of bee balm. So I had to take and buy some more and fill in this area. But with the bee balm, you can see I got red and dark purple and light purple and even some salmon color. And there's some lily in the background there still going, and the phlox. Now the phlox are just beautiful. I love these phlox. The color is so pretty. And in the background over here, if I can get the picture. Let's see, right back in there. There we are. I just love that dark purple phlox. Oh, they're so pretty. I even got some white ones in here too. But those all died out last winter because it was so harsh. So I had to plant some new ones. But this little island garden is so pretty. He was telling me how lovely it is, and he just loves all the different colors I got in here. I even got zinnias in there, some even annuals I planted in here. It's not just all perennials. Wherever there was empty spaces, I took and stuck in some flowers. I even got some vinca down in here, some dark purple vinca. And that's the other thing you can do too, is when your perennials are all up and about and you've got empty holes and spaces, by that time your annuals are on sale. So just go and buy some annuals, a mixture of anything and everything. And you can just fill them in the holes wherever you got. And that helps to give you a lovely garden that's nice and full and thick. Now these are the baskets that I did last spring. I've got the vincas here, and these are a dark red trailing flower. They're going to be hanging over and continuing to bloom. In the center vincas are a lighter red, and those will stay stationary in the basket and start filling in the basket. Now the vinca are great for the sun along the pool side here because they tolerate the heat, and you can forget to water them for a few days and they'll still be fine. They can go bone dry, but you still, need to water and keep an eye on them. But if you happen to forget, they take the heat really well. And these make excellent flowers for around the graves in the tombstones and the cemeteries. Because you don't always go to the cemetery and those flowers continue to bloom, and they can take without less water. So they're a wonderful flower for doing that. And alongside the pool here, I also have the anthrantheums, or the love lies bleeding. And these dark purple ones, burgundies, get to be about 8 feet tall with big, long seed fronds hanging down the side. They're excellent for the birds, especially for in the wintertime. It helps to feed them greatly. And then along the pool, I've got more of those lovellies bleeding in the background. Now those are just volunteers because I just took the seed off the plants and threw them to the wind, and where they grew, they grew. And there's quite a few from there along below the pool. And I also have the whole wall there of zinnias again, and these are going to be about waist high. And on the other side then I have the vegetables. I got pumpkins and gourds and cucumbers. I even have tomato plants in the back down there. And you can't see those from the patios and stuff because it's below the hill, but yet at the same time they're in full sun, and it gives it a wonderful chance to grow your vegetables. See, I even got the tomato plants over here in the cages. There's a good use of the land for your vegetables, because they all need full sun. And now in the back here, right in front here, these are the Chinese lanterns. I don't know if you can see, but I have some little green ones that are on the bushes. See if I can find some here. There's some little green ones that are on the leaves there. And those get to be bright orange come fall, and so they look like little lanterns, little pumpkins. They're just so cute. And then of course I got more zinnias down here. I got zinnias everywhere. We got some more dinner plate dahlias here. There's one flower there that's opened up. And then we got more of the gay feathers. And I got dahlias all along there, dinner plate dahlias. Now I just took and refertilized all these too with the phosphate, so hopefully we can get much larger blooms. And then on the bottom border here, I have those newer flowers which are called gazanias, which is a cross between a Gerber daisy and a zinnia. And these are just gorgeous, gorgeous colors. I just love these, such beautiful fall colors. And those, of course, you have to deadhead them though as soon as they're done blooming. And the more you deadhead, the more blooms come back. These are just so pretty. I just love the color of those. All along the border there. And there's more of those gay feathers, the purple ones, which look like bottle brushes. Liatris spicata is the Latin name for them. And then we have some Russian sage over here. And then this is the back patio where I got the whole wall with cannas in the background. In the middle I have zinnias, and in the front I have more dinner plate dahlias. And and alongside of those I have the reblooming irises. Now they bloomed already in spring, but they should bloom again come fall. And then there's cleomes mixed in along there too. So there's a huge combination of different colors and textures. Instead of having just one kind, if you have several, it gives the eye something to look at and focus in instead of just being drawn to just one object. And we got some dinner plates blooming in here too. I just took and refertilized these, so hopefully we can get much larger blooms the second time around. I just love them when they're huge. And then all along the patio here, we got a lot more zinnias and lilies. And I even got some foxglove starting to bloom. I love foxglove. Those are so pretty. It's a biennial. They come back every other year, but they are poisonous. But they don't have any kids. Well, they have kids, but they're all grown. And so they don't have pets either, so it doesn't matter here. I get to grow the poisonous plants because they have the most beautiful flowers. So this is just an update of what I'm doing at the gardens. Hope you enjoy these.